I quite like that, though. It was quite visually striking. It would be even better if that was like coal being brought down from the mines. Ah, wonderful. Right. Is there anywhere else that we need to be moving around a lot of items? I mean, there's lots of tomatoes being gathered over here, but I'm going to let them pull that back a little bit more, actually. Right, can I not? Does appear that this becomes a bit of an issue over here. Well, one that we can, thankfully, fix. Is that flat? It is. Right here then. Donk. There you go. That's much easier for you. And slowly but surely we're going to take out all of this forest up here. Right, we have a load of planks that I need to move as well at this point. I think time for another little bit of terraforming. So let's go ahead and flatten down. In fact, how about we flatten all of this down just a bit. That was expensive, I know, but I don't mind too much. As now we can place down another house. We only need one more house that we can get up to happiness level 4. And we should be good. Now, once we've got stone coming in, we should be able to push it all the way. And relatively easily, too. But the main thing I wanted there was the extra wagon capacity. Or, well, yeah, technically wagons, not caravans. So let's move that. Oh, there we go. New building unlocked, the forester. New structure unlocked, the tree planter. Very useful, but I believe the tree planter now requires iron. So it's not as easy to do. Let me have a quick gander. The pasture only requires rocks. Good, 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 good. I was a little worried that that might actually require stones, but it does not. This is good times for us. There we are. This is going quite well, I would say. Though we are never, we don't ever have any kind of stockpile over here, which is a bit of a shame. But we are seeing percent of houses supplied and actively consuming items. We've got some are green, some are blue. I think the blue means that they've got a stockpile. Maybe it doesn't. Oh, right, of course, yeah. This will top up that stockpile, but now this is running out. The blue is actually the happiness that they have, which is declining because they've got no way of sustaining it, whereas the green is they're happy and they've got a surplus. This one's going to stop being happy on that point. There we go. Much sadness, but there we are. However, we're doing it reasonably well with the red coins. We can, I believe, bring up our list of display grid overlays. No, what I would like. Pick up item, no. Anything else there? No. There is a way to see your income, I believe. But apparently I cannot see it right now. Oh well, we'll come back to that at some point. Right, the last one, basic logistics. Let's get that underway. Hello, Prismatic Flux. Yes, I am back. I hope you've had a wonderful new year. Mine was fantastic. I had my parents over from Wales. Now, I could just brute force this and put down another house and we would almost certainly be able to get up the happiness, but I think I would rather get there with what we have right now. How much stone is left here? Oh, good, a good bit of stone, actually. Okay, well, let's work on our next building then, which will be the pasture. Can we build the well yet? We can. Glorious. We're going to need the well. But first, the pasture. Now, the issue here is that how fast are we producing see, we've already gone through all of this grain, and it's well, a decent amount of it is growing back. We might be okay, but we are consuming it quite quickly. In fact, we're about to run out. There we go. We've hit our max. There is no more grain to be had for the time being. I could gather herbs, but this was really my point. We need fertilizer, I'm afraid. I could build another farm over here to harvest this grain. I could build one really distant over here, harvesting this grain if I really wanted to. We have the population to fund that. Likewise, is over here. We've got sugar, a little bit of grain there. So anywhere else that would be a nice little spot just for me to generate some fertilizer. It looks like this little place would be good. Alright, accept. Let's get a little farm down then. So we want a farm right here. Dunk. All I want from you is to gather grain. And the grain that you gather, I want you to pipe into a grain mill. The grain mill can exist right here. And all of this is on the chute, so it's nice and simple for me. Dump. And I want you to be making animal feed. There we are. I can feed straight in. And then the animal feed can be sent out to a pasture. Now I could build a well over here, or I could just build the pasture down here. Actually, that makes a lot more sense. So I'm going to do that. So let's rotate you. And we'll move this down here. There we go. It's a little bit easier. I was making things much harder for myself than they needed to be. And much the same down here. There we go. Now, all I want from this is fertilizer, realistically. And I can get that for one animal feed and a bit of water will give me fertilizer. Now, I could make other things, of course. I could make wool for just 2 animal feed. 2 animal feed and a yellow coin will give me chicken, which would get me other sorts of things. Or 2 animal feed and nothing else would get me milk. But the problem is, I'm really, really far away. Nevertheless, for the time being, I think the only thing we really need is the fertilizer. So let's just make a little automated area that all it should be doing is gathering these items. This exists entirely to produce fertilizer, which I believe can move down a chute. Yep, there we go. So we now have fertilizer coming in. That's all we needed this to do, because with that, we can now make proper farms wherever we want. I mean, it's still a bit expensive, but it's worth doing. Listening to Aavak as ASMR while drawing. Oh, well, I hope my my voice is not distracting, at the very least. Right, well now we have the option of moving our farm up here to somewhere else. Question is though, do we really want to? I wonder about that. I'm not sure we do. There are all sorts of things around that we can deal with. Actually, can we sell fish yet? Well, it's house level 2. I mean, yes, we can. Oh. Well. That is something that I completely missed, and it's very silly of me. But for the time being, let's just set this little area up so it is a proper farm. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend a fair bit of cash placing down. I can't quite get them in there. They can only go on certain tiles, but these ones can sustain it because they're already flat. So there we go. Some farm tiles. Now, this means we can tell you to start supplying water to these farm tiles. Now, that will drastically improve their growth speed, but it does take a bit to get going. Furthermore, realistically, I'd kind of like it if we could get this a bit closer. Now, have they updated the way that Terraformer works? What? Did I have the wrong one selected? Because I'm fairly certain it was Terraform down. Pretty certain. I can't afford. Oh my god. Well, you know, it's difficult sometimes being a god. You know, using your omniscient powers bend reality as you see fit. And just sometimes you're trying to level something and just stray thought crosses your mind. And you're suddenly imagining mountains. And all of a sudden mountains where you were trying to put a nice, charming little lake. Ah, well, we'll make it work somehow. Why? All right, well, train block down, I guess. And we're going to just have to spend an awful lot of money fixing this mistake. All the way back down. Dunk. But that's fine. Right, well, while that's all happening, we're building up our red coins again, because, we will build a well. And our well will exist right about here. There we go. The well produces water at a steady rate. And we need a peep to help with that. Do you want to drop that off? I mean, you got to wait for the wagon to come back, I appreciate. But as soon as you can, I want you to start moving water. Oh dear. Oh no. The wagon can't get past because that's grown. Oh. Why? Stupid mountains. Alright. This is what's going to happen. Oh, the wagon can get through. Quick, wagon. Now. Now's your chance. Grab this. Drop it off. Go ahead, drop that off. There we go. Now I want you working on the water. There we are. Now you'll happily deliver water, and these areas will be watered, which gives them a pretty good growth boost. Now, a little farm, you don't actually need a lot going on with it to be able to do an awful lot of good work with it, but oh my goodness. I can't believe this happened. That's 10 a pop just to lower it by one level. My word. Oh well. What we can have a look at instead then is making a stonemason. Chunky building. Oh, do I not? Oh, not enough population capacity. Right, of course. Then I'm afraid you are now surplus to demand. Yeah. And a stonemason. But how am I going to move the things from the stonemason, I wonder? Pomp. We can make all sorts of wonderful stone things that I'm not going to have the time to do. But we could, if we wanted to. I would like you to take it to the stonemason instead. Wolfman, thank you very much for the cheer there, mate. Oh, is this full? No, it's not full. Interesting. Have I moved both of them over here? Oh, I did. Well, that was accidental. I want you to move... well, first and foremost, I want you to start making stone bricks in here. And then I want one of you to move those stone bricks into the base. That will do nicely, I think. Eventually we're going to need to move that, but for now, it works. Sort of. Now, what level? I could actually have some houses up here if it wasn't for this. But I could, if I wanted to. Now, one way that we can get a bit more money flowing into the coffers. Oh, wow, what are you all doing? Well, you're now moving grain across directly in there. And you are moving carrots across directly in there. Chop, chop. Enjoy your time. Are you really having that much trouble? How curious. I don't know why that stopped, but... either way, though, as long as we can get a little house somewhere over here connected to one of the roads, then we could supply it with materials. Alternatively, I could just build a house around here on scaffolding, since houses can be built on scaffolding, which is quite nice. I mean, technically that one would count, apparently. Not sure why. Maybe I should just build this one over here. Be done with it. Alternatively, I could build one down there. That being said, Given I was just talking about building on scaffolding, I could just add a little pier and build it on there. How deep is this? Not deep at all. Oh, I like it. This is going to be grand. Should we have a little stone bridge? Shall we be nice? It's quite expensive, and we don't have many of those stones. It's really expensive as well. So no, not for the time being. We'll go with just regular wooden bridge. So womp womp womp, like so. I'm going to take this out the back like this, all the way along. All the way along to the fish. There we go. And down here then, we can have this little road come all the way out. And once again, all the way along to the fish. And have a house just down here. Marvellous. We're making it work, people. Crazy Gamer, thank you very much for the cheer there. Oh, sorry, the highlighted message. Sorry, I'm going to get that mixed up quite a lot. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, the peeps in this game are super dumb. That's why I did call them derps earlier. I mean, it's the same with Oni. They are your derplicants, not your duplicants. And in here, they're probably your derps rather than your peeps. But yeah, their pathing logic does leave a little bit to be desired at times. But you learn to work around it. Jin, thank you very much for the 29 months. Nice to catch you streaming again. Oh, it's nice to be streaming again, mate. Right, there we go. Got a little house, and it's grand. Conveyor belts have been unlocked, but it's going to be a long time before we do anything with them. Intermediate logistics. I'm not spending my red coins on that, no. I refuse. Now, what I did this for... What are you up to right now? You're just trying to move some planks across. Well, I mean... I guess you could do that. How are we doing in here? We're doing reasonably well. Why are you... What? Why on earth are you moving all the way... I don't understand. It pains me. If you could just continue moving those through, that's fine. Right, what we wanted to do over here, though, is we want to set up a new gathering opportunity. I want you there, and I want a crate. Very close by. There we go. I'm going to have to remove one of the spots there to put a crate down. Donk. I would like you to fish into the crate. There we go. You just keep fishing for now. But we're going to have a wagon come by every now and then and pick up all of the fish. And cart these all the way to the market. It's going to be truly wonderful. However, this is becoming a bit of a problem. It's getting a little bit chalked up here. So, what we're going to do in the meanwhile is we're going to womp womp womp. Build out a little scaffolding going along here. I would like one... sure, we'll get a arch. Wooden arch there. And then 2 regular scaffolder blocks. Right there. And then this one can just deliver it in through the roof. Through the upper windows of the lumber mill. This way, our carts now have multiple routes to access, because otherwise they can clog themselves. Carts are collidables, so you can't make their paths too complicated, otherwise they get very, very confused and then clog everything up. There we are. That'll work nicely. How are you doing? You're not doing well, are you? No. Look, I'm not going to give you a hard time, because it may... I mean, some people might think they'd be wrong, but they might be inclined to believe the problem you're encountering is my doing. So, and because they are so wrong, but endearing in their wrongness. I mean, it's quite cute when people are that wrong. I will try and fix it for you, and I won't blame you for being so derpy. But really, it's all your fault. I had nothing to do with it. All right, let's continue to bring this across. There we go. And now, with all of this fish flowing in, we should be getting closer and closer to the happiness levels we need. Wondiferous, yes. Kind of like Wonder Lovely. Right, there we go. We've hit 25. End of tutorial. That's the end of the tutorial. Keep growing your town, completing research and optimizing and automating. I will do my best. Truly, I will. Right, this barn is as full of fertilizer as it possibly can be now. Very well. Now, I can pop a grabber down here and just make this grabber always try to grab fertilizer. The grabbers are generally available from very early on. With that, I could start making things like milk and the like, which may be worth our while. What would be the best one for me to go for right now? I could do chicken. Where's milk? I mean, milk is a basic one, but it's a solid one still. Like if I look at a house, milk would be consumed in addition to a lot of other stuff. It's generally better for you to go for more expensive items, but milk is a decent one, really, when you think about it. The meat can take you a little bit higher, but it really is the milk that I would like. Yeah, I think we're going to try and get some milk going. Did we not get boat building happening? Fishing boat, cargo boat. What do we need for that? Machinery. Oof, that's a long ways off then. But what we could do is build a little bridge, perhaps. I think we've got enough materials to do it, so sure. Let's start up a little tiny project. Well, we could either do that, or we could just relocate this. Now that we've got the means to actually just build a farm wherever we want, we could even relocate this one, just not worry about this problem, honestly. Because it is a bit of a silly problem. It's just that I love this so much. I'm not going to lie, that is the main reason that I'm struggling through this. This might be better, though, for delivering other materials. Sure, how about we try and make a better farm down here and then deliver across to the town through some other means. Alternatively, we could just move the bulk of our living quarters over there and have the farm feed straight into this, because we don't actually need our industrial and living quarters anywhere near each other. I mean, it helps a little bit in being able to deliver from the general store, but it's not a biggie when you think about it. All right, I like this idea. Let's go. We'll start with the farm that is producing the fertilizer, since that's realistically one of the big ones that we need. And before we get there, actually, we're going to need to make a very slight adjustment to the terrain. I say slight adjustment with a little bit of an inkling that I might be lying. Oh no, I wasn't. Hooray! Hooray for not accidentally lying. Well, not potentially willingly lying about how easy something would be. Well, it's going to cost us 10 coins though. Still, if we can lower that down, we can place the farm down here so we can draw water straight away. That being said, though, and this might be a bit of an odd one, because in the previous versions of the game, realistically, building along the water's edge was just so useful. But I'm tempted to see just how much we can get done with just a well. Right, the nice thing about farms is you do not need, even remotely, its full surface area to be productive. Like, not even close to that. So we could happily stick this farm just down here, for example. Pop. And then let's go ahead and place down a couple of farm tiles. Now, I want the goods to be drawn out the front, so let's pop. Sure. 4 tiles around there. I would also like Now, I don't have conveyor belts, so I can't make use of conveyors and wells, so it is going to require people, one way or t'other. Still, just popping a well back here, maybe. And yes, that does mean that I no longer want that there, because it'll look wrong. We will build this out instead a little bit at the front, because we could build 2 wells. Let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Now I'm going to need a peep to move well water along. And you're going to do exactly the same thing. I want you to gather grain. Well, whilst we're working on this, I probably should continue to try and pull that down. Will you ever be able to do your job? I wonder sometimes. I mean, you should, as is, be able to do it, but apparently not. No? Absolutely certain? No. Okay, fair enough. We've tried enough times. You made it clear that's not what you want to do. Right, well, while we're working on that, let's continue to pull all of this down. We're going to want the grain mill moved across. We can have both of these deliver into the grain mill. There. I can give you a little bit of a path at the back here. There we go. Much nicer. And with that, we can start placing down some grain. So just plant the grain in these tiles, like so. And I want both of these to apply water. That way they will do it pretty quickly. Womp. Yeah. Now you should, I would hope, deliver to either one, but maybe you don't. Deliver everything. I guess. No, it looks like you'll just deliver to wherever. Oh well, it doesn't really matter as long as one of them is watering. Next up, we want to move our pasture, and the pasture is also going to have access to a well, unfortunately. So in the end, it's going to end up needing about 4 people just to move the water around. But eventually you can make this a lot more efficient. A lot more efficient. Let's just rotate that around. Something like that. Because we would eventually want a second one of these. Superwoman! Look at a bit that reminds that how dapper I am not sure there are Twitch babies with this. 25 months, my lord. I hope you've had a wonderful New Year, Superwoman. Now, I'm not going to start moving everything across just yet. Especially because there's still a fair bit of stuff we can set up over here. But, well, actually, what we would want to do is ensure that this goes in either direction. Like so. Now, over here, I'm going to start saying we either want one to go for milk or both of them to start producing something like meat or something along those lines. Eggs, you have to specifically make eggs, and only eggs. I guess I could have one making milk and fertilizer and the other making eggs. With the fertilizer going into a central area or possibly feeding back to the farms. It's a tricky one, that one. Because ideally you'd want the farms to drop it off to just keep that moving as well as it could. Well, either way, I want this producing both fertilizer and something else. Now, how are my red coins going? My red coins are going reasonably well, so we should at this point be able to sort this out, I would think. Bring all of that down. I may be wrong, actually. Womp. 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 Okay, you 100% should be able to move now. Come on. Stop playing around. There we go. And down there. There we are. Perfect. Finally. Wonderful. You're free. Enjoy.